See, in the last class already I have discussed what is a demand, what is meant by law of demand, and what are the types of the demand. So what are the factors influencing the demand? So what are the types of the demand? We are having the various types: price demand and income demand. That means the demand is related with respect to that price and that income level. So whenever the price increases, what is the quantity demanded is going to be affected. How much quantity we are demanding for at particular prices, whether increase in the price or whether decrease in the price. That means the in price demand, it is having the inverse relationship with that quantity demanded for a particular commodity. If you take that income demand, whenever the income of a consumer increases, automatically demand is also increases for the particular commodities. So the quantity demanded is also going to be increased. So if you take that income demand, it is having the positive relationship with that quantity demanded. Cross demand and joint demand. So cross demand we have uh, discussed for the substitutional commodities. Suppose if you are having any commodity, for that same commodity, we are having number of substitutes. So whenever you increasing that particular A commodity A price, so what is the effect to that B commodity, the substitute B commodity? I have explained in the last class. Again, joint demand. Joint demand is nothing but complementary goods. It is for complementary goods. Suppose if I increasing the price of that inkjet printers, so jointly it also requires the inkjet cartridge. So what is the demand effect, quantity demand effect of that particular complementary good? So we have discussed that also in the last class. So consumer goods, what are consumer goods? Consumer goods are nothing but the goods which satisfy the human wants directly. So those are the food items, the cloths like that. Producer goods are nothing but machines, tools, machinery, another things. By using those producer goods, we are manufacturing the another goods. So such type of goods are called producer goods. So what is the demand for that consumer goods and the producer goods? I have explained in the last class. Next, what is meant by durable good and perishable good? So perishable goods are not without refrigerating, we are not able to use them. So we are consuming at a time that perishable goods. Durable goods means we are not using those goods at not only one time. For a longer period, we are using that durable goods. For example, bike, car, watch, pen, we are using for longer time. These are the durable goods. Machines like that. So derived demand, autonomous demand, short run demand, long run demand. Like that we have already discussed. So we have started the discussion of elasticity of demand. We have started the discussion of elasticity of demand. See, generally we know that elasticity is a physical property of a material. So in material science we will study the elasticity property, or in physics we will study the elasticity of a property. Suppose when you are applying the stress on the particular material, how it is going to be affected. Some objects are going to be returned to a original shape, and some objects, some materials, they are not having the elasticityness. So suppose if you take a rubber band, if I apply some pressure on that rubber band, it is going to be elongated. Whenever I am releasing the stress, again it is returning to its normal position. As a science student, we will think like that. So here, this according to this subject, what is this elasticity of demand? So already we discussed the demand with respect to that various concepts, with respect to that price, income, and cross demand. So here, by studying this elasticity, what we are going to learn means whenever you are going to change a price, whenever you are showing the variations in the price level, that means whether are you increasing the price or whether you are decreasing the price, what is the effect of the demand? How much effect? Suppose you are increasing the price 5%. So what is the quantity demanded? Whether it is reducing 5% or 10%. So what is the degree of change of amount demanded of that commodity in response to the given change in the price of the commodity? So you are changing the price of the commodity, either 5% or 10%. You are increasing the price. So again, what is the rate of change of that quantity demanded with respect to that price? That is explaining that elasticity of demand. So elasticity of demand is nothing but it is giving that degree of change in the amount demanded of a commodity with respect to the price of that commodity. So it may be related to some price of the some related goods or change in the consumer income. So already we know that what is that income demand. So what is that rate of change we are going to measure. See here, who has introduced this concept? The person Marshall has introduced this concept of elasticity of demand. That means in a calculation point of view, we are going to explain what is that rate of change. We can measure that value. So by changing that, by giving that 5% discount on a particular product, the quantity demanded is increased to 5% or 10%. So how much quantity demanded has been increased? That's we are going to measure by using that elasticity of demand. So there are three important kinds of elasticity of demand: price elasticity, income elasticity, and cross elasticity. See here, already we have explained that concepts in a demand concept itself. So here we are going to study the formulas, how that elasticity is going to be measured. So the concept is the same, but you have to represent the things in a different manner. So what is the concept of price demand? Here also the concept is same. What is the concept of income demand? Concept is same. Cross demand, like that. But here we are representing them in a simple formula space. That is the elasticity, because we are measuring that rate of change in a practical way. So now I am going to discuss about that price elasticity demand. So what is this? It is going to measure the responsiveness of the demand to change in prices. See here, a particular salesperson or a company is going to change the prices of the products. Okay, based on that market conditions, so many business people or salespersons, they are going to change the prices because suppose a company has been company's products sales has been reduced. So though they are taking some certain type of decisions to promote their products more in the market. So how to increase their sales? By giving some discounts. So they are so whatever the changes in the price, so what is the quantity we are demanding? It is going to measure that responsiveness. So the price elasticity of a demand for a commodity is the rate at which the quantity bought changes at various price changes. So whether the price is increased or the price is decreased, what is the quantity you are demanding? That we are measuring by using these formulas. So here it is price elasticity. E means elasticity. Because it is price elasticity, we are denoting with EP. So it is given by the formula proportionate change in the quantity demanded divided by proportionate change in the price, because we are measuring that elasticity of demand with respect to price. So that proportionate change in the price is in the denominator. So what we are measuring, how much quantity we are demanded, that is a proportionate change. For example, I am taking a, see here, at normal price, that is P1. Normal price at the beginning of that commodity price is P1. Okay. So the quantity demanded at P1 is Q1. Okay. I'm giving some discount. I have changed the price from P1 to P2. That is the price change after the giving some discount. Now, the quantity demanded after changing the price is Q2. So what is the proportionate change in the quantity demanded? It is given by Q2 minus Q1 by Q1. That is change in the quantity demanded by quantity demanded. So before price change, the quantity demanded is Q1. After price change, the quantity demanded is Q2. So change in quantity demand enta ostundamma? Q2 minus Q1 divided by Q1. Mari price change P2 minus P1 divided by P1. Change in price by price. So this formula X by Y, this can be represented as in this way. So I'm moving to this one, what I have explained. So change in quantity demanded is given by Q2 minus Q1 by Q1. So where your Q1 is nothing but quantity demanded before price change. So at the normal price, what is that quantity demanded? Q2 is after the price change, what is the quantity demanded in a market? So the change in quantity demanded is given by Q2 minus Q1 by Q1. Next, P1. At the beginning, what is the price of that commodity? Next, P2. after giving discounts, what is the price change? That is P2. So price change is given by P2 minus P1 by P1. So here I am denoting Q2 minus Q1 is as delta Q, P2 minus P1 as delta P. So what is the formula is going to be changed? Delta Q by Q1, delta P by P1. So how we can represent by using this? So X by Y by some A by B ఉందనుకోండి, ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి క్రాస్ మల్టిప్లికేషన్ జరిగితే ఏమవుతుంది? B by A అవుతుంది. So this is the thing we have represented in that formula representation. That means when you want to measure a elasticity of a demand, price elasticity of a demand, by using this formula we are going to measure the price elasticity of demand. So in mathematical way, what is the quantity demanded? You want to know what is that elastic responsiveness, what is that rate of change. By using this formula we are able to calculate the things. That is the explanation. Next, so what is meant by the terms? You must know these two terms are very important: elastic demand and inelastic demand. What is elastic demand and what is the inelastic demand? So in general way I will explain. Suppose we are having a certain mobile. So that mobile cost is at the beginning 10,000. So the company wants to increase the sales of that particular mobile X. They are giving 25% offer on that mobile. Okay, that means they are giving the 25% discount for that X mobile. So after whenever the consumers see that advertisement, they are attracting because the future features of that phone are very good, that working of that phone is very good, all are very good. So by giving that 25% discount, the people are going to attracted to buy that product. That means automatically the quantity demanded for that product is going to be increased. That means you are changing the price level of that particular product, the quantity demanded is going to be increased. That type of demand is called elasticity demand. That means a small change in the price may bring about a big change in the demand, then it represents elastic demand. Such type of commodities are called elastic commodities. That means suppose if you take certain types of commodities, suppose if I take rice, that normal good rice, suppose there is a change in the price level of that normal good, the demand is not going to be changed because every person prefer to eat rice only. So whatever may be the price changes, everybody normally go to buy that same kilos of that rice. Suppose in my family I need 30 kilos of rice, whatever may be the price change, again for next month also I will buy 30 kgs of rice. I will maintain the budget by reducing expenditure on another products. So I will maintain my budget in the same way by reducing the expenditure on that another products. So in such type of commodities, the elasticity is not going to be occur. So the such type of things are called inelastic. So hope you understood that concept, elastic and inelastic. So whatever the change in the price, it is going to bring about a big change in the demand. Then it is called elastic demand. So whatever may be the changes in the price, if the demand remains more or less constant, the quantity demand is not going to be changed, or whether it is going to be changed in a very less amount. So then it is called, it is having that inelastic property. So hope you understood elastic and inelastic. Now, so how many types of elasticity of demand are there? 3 types. What are those 3 types? Price elasticity, income elasticity, cross elasticity. Already I have discussed what is meant by price elasticity. So in this price elasticity, we are having different cases. What are those different cases? 5 cases. Now, we are going to discuss about 5 cases of the price elasticity of demand. So the first case is perfectly elastic. So that perfectly elasticity means we will represent it by EP is equal to infinity. Perfectly elastic. See, you are saying you are perfectly good. You are perfectly, another word we can use. That means it is obeying that property in a better way. That means when a small change in the price leads to infinitely large change in the quantity demand. Suppose for a particular commodity X, I am reducing very less price. That means I am giving only 5% discount. That 5% discount is going to lead a lot change quantity demanded. it is going to lead a large change in the quantity demanded, then it is called perfectly or infinitely elastic demand. So a small change in price, it is going to lead a large change in the quantity demanded. See here, then it is represented by EP is equal to infinity. See here, the quantity has been increased. On the x-axis, I am taking quantity demanded. Remember the things. On the x-axis, we are taking quantity demanded. On the y-axis, we are taking price. On the y-axis, I am taking the price. Suppose here the variable is P. So the price level is OP. It may be changed to some OP1. It is very small change. So, but the quantity demanded is from OQ to OQ1, OQ1 to OQ2. That means at the beginning it is OQ. After that, a small price change, it is OQ1. Again, it is OQ2. So, a small change in the price, it is going to increase a large quantity demanded, even though there is no change in price at all. So, the price is fixed at OP. Then it is called perfectly elastic demand. Okay, this is called perfectly elastic demand. Next, second case, perfect inelastic demand. This is called EP is equal to 0. This is the reverse case of previous one, because in the previous case we are doing a small change, or in some cases not at all a change, but the quantity demanded is very much. But here this is the one which shows whatever may be the price change, the amount demanded is remains the same. In the previous case the amount demanded is increased, is going to be increased, but here you are changing the prices. See here, on the y-axis we are taking the price. On the x-axis we are taking the quantity demanded. You are changing the price from OP to OP1 and OP2. So price levels are going to be changed, but quantity demanded is same. It is equal to the line, x is equal to y line. So here, so whatever may be the, even though the price is changing, whether it is increase or decrease, whatever it may be, but the quantity demanded is going to be remains the same. So quantity demanded is same means we are putting that EP is equal to 0. So such type of goods are called inelastic goods, or such type of demand is called perfect inelastic demand. This is the second case of price elasticity demand. So totally how many cases we are having? 5 cases. What is the first case? Perfect elastic demand. EP is equal to infinity. What is the second case? Perfect inelastic demand. EP is equal to 0. Next, we will see the third case. Unit elasticity of demand, that is EP is equal to 1. So unit means the changes are in unit level. That means the changes are similar. See here. In this type of demand, given percentage change in price, suppose I have changed the price changes to 5%. The quantity demanded is also changed in 5%. Suppose I am changing the prices in 10%. 10% changes I am doing. So the quantity demanded is also change occurs in 10% only. So this demand, the given percentage change, whatever the percentage change you are doing for the price, it leads to exactly the same percentage change in the amount demanded. Suppose you are doing that 5% change in that price, the quantity demanded change is also occurring as a 5%. That is called unit elasticity. So as there is no change in the demand and price, it is called unitary demand. Suppose if there is no change in the price and demand, then it is called unitary demand. Suppose if you observe this figure, suppose when the price level is OP, okay, the quantity demanded is what? OQ. Whenever the price level is OP, the quantity demanded is OQ. You are reducing the price from OP to OP1. So I am reducing the price. That means I have given some 5% discount. This is the change I have done. So the change of quantity demanded is also going to be increased. This is also 5%. This is the unit change. Whatever the same change you are doing in the price, the same change is going to be occur in that quantity demanded. This is called unit elasticity of demand. EP is equal to 1. Next, relative elastic demand, E greater than 1. So I hope you have to understood the concept how they are moving. Here E is greater than 1 means the demand is said to be relatively elastic when the change in demand is more than change in the price. That means you are doing only whatever the commodity you are taking, you are giving only 5% discount. With that 5% discount, it is going to be increased more. The quantity demanded is more. You are giving the 5% discount, but you are getting the 10% or 15% quantity demanded. That means E greater than 1. That means you are getting here E greater than 1. See here, if you observe the figure, the quantity demanded increases from OQ to OQ2. That means at the beginning, what is the price? OP1. At the beginning, what is the price? OP1. What is the quantity demanded? It is OQ. So you are reducing the price. So I have put the down arrow. That is the reducing the price means OP. At this OP, what is the quantity demand? OQ2. But the change in price is less, but the quantity demanded is more. That is E greater than 1. So this is called relative elastic demand. This is the fourth case. Next, relatively inelastic demand. This is, we can call it as E less than 1. Opposite to that previous one. This is the inverse of that previous one. Relatively inelastic demand. Previously it is E greater than 1. Now it is E less than 1. See here. Now what is the price? OP. So at the beginning the price is OP. Okay, what is the quantity demanded? It is OQ. Okay, at the price level OP, the quantity demanded is OQ. Now you are reducing the price levels. That means the price level is now OP. The quantity demanded is OQ1. See here, you are reducing a lot of price, but the quantity demanded is very less. I am giving 20% discount, but the quantity demanded is increased in only 5%. Okay, more prices we are reducing, but the quantity is demanded is not that much amount. So a large change in the price leads to a small change in the amount demanded. We are doing this larger change in the price levels. That means we are giving better discounts, but the commodity quantity demanded for that commodity is not going to be increased. So the demand curve will be steeper. So in this case, how the curve will be, it is going to be steeper. This is called relatively inelastic demand. So what we are discussing, what is meant by elasticity of demand. There are three types of elasticity of demand: price elasticity, income elasticity, and cross elasticity. So later that we have discussed the term what is meant by elasticity and what is meant by inelasticity. So we have seen the 5 cases of price elasticity demand. We have seen the 5 cases of price elasticity. Okay. What is the second case here? Income elasticity demand. See here, what are the variables here? We are comparing that quantity demanded with respect to that income. So whatever the basic formula previously you have learned, in the denominator with respect to income, we have to write the formula. That means in the numerator, what you will get? What is the quantity change? Proportionate quantity change. The change divided by proportionate change in that income. So with respect to income we are measuring. Previously with respect to price we have measured. So what it is showing? It shows the change in quantity demand as a result of the change in the income. So consumers' incomes are also going to be changed. So with respect to different criteria. Suppose in these situations the business are going to be very dull. So every person's income are going to be reduced. Whether he is maybe a businessman or he may be an employee, whatever it may be. So based on some conditions, critical conditions, all the person's incomes are going to be reduced. So due to the certain factors, our incomes are going to be changed. So whenever the incomes are going to be changed, how that the quantity of demand is going to be affected. So income elasticity, the formula. Proportionate change in the quantity demand of that commodity. So what is the numerator? In numerator, what we have to write? What is the numerator? You have to write Q2 minus Q1 by Q1. Next, proportionate change in the income of the people. So what is the variable we are using for the income? Y. In the demand function itself, I have showed the variable For the income, the variable is y. So what is the proportionate change in the income? Delta y. Delta y is nothing but y2 minus y1 by y1. So how we have written the formula for that price elasticity? Again, you have to write that formulas. Here in the numerator, we are writing Q2 minus Q1 by Q1 divided by y2 minus y1 by y1, where Q2 minus Q1 is equal to delta Q. Delta Q by Q1, delta Y by Y1. That is the thing you have to write. So again, in income elasticity, we are having 5 types. Already we have seen the 5 types of price elasticity demand. Like that, we are also having 5 different cases in income elasticity demand. The first one is zero income elasticity. See here. So zero income elasticity means quantity demanded is remains the same even though money income increases. So the consumers' incomes are going to be increased. So if you take consumer 1, consumer 2, consumer 3, their income levels are going to be increased. But they are not preferring to buy the commodities more when whether their incomes are going to be in a better position. So the quantity demanded by those consumers are remaining same even though the money income increases. So symbolically it is represented as EY is equal to 0 because E means elasticity, Y means income. So that's why I have told you here in the denominator y2 minus y1 by y1. So EY is equal to 0. Y is income, E is the elasticity. This is the zero income elasticity. So next. Here. Previously we have taken on the x-axis quantity demanded. Here also we are taking the quantity demanded on the x-axis. On the y-axis I am taking income. On the y-axis I am taking the variable income. Previously I have taken price. So here EY is equal to 0. That means the person's income is going to change it from Y to 0 Y to 0 Y1. At the beginning the person income is 50,000. The person income changes to from 50,000 to 60,000. 10,000 has been increased. Assume like that. But the quantity demanded for the person at the beginning it is same. So it is not going to be changed. The quantity demanded is at the single line. So there is no change in the quantity demanded. But the income is changed. So income is changed from 50,000 to some 60,000. But the quantity demanded is the same on this same line. So this is called zero income elasticity. So next case. Second case. Second case is negative income elasticity. So the name itself it is saying Y is the income, E is the elasticity. So you have to represent the variable by EY. So negative means EY is less than 0. See here, when the income increases, the quantity demanded falls. That is the thing. Negative income elasticity means income is increasing. So income is from 0Y to 0Y1. So at the beginning it is 30,000. So the income has been increased from 30,000 to 40,000. That is 0Y1. So at the beginning, what is the quantity demanded? When the income is Y, the quantity demanded is 0Q. So whenever the income is increasing, so the quantity demanded is going to be reduced. That is, it is coming from Q1. That means at the beginning, the quantity demanded is 0Q, but it is reducing from 0Q to 0Q1. So that that's why we are saying it is less than 0. See here, income is increasing, but the quantity demanded is decreasing from 0Q to 0Q1. This is called negative income elasticity. Next, unit income elasticity. What is the next thing? Unit income elasticity. See here, the unit name itself you should understand. Unit price elasticity. So whatever the income changes, that the same change will be affected to that quantity demanded. That means when an increase in the income brings about the proportionate increase in the quantity demand. Suppose my income has been increased to 10%. So my income has been increased to the 10%. So the quantity demand for my commodities are also increased by 10%. So here previously my income is 0Y. The quantity demanded is 0Q. Okay. Now my income is increased from 0y to 0y1. That means there is a 10% increase my income. Again, whatever the size, unit size, the same unit size demand, quantity demanded is also going to be increased. So that quantity demand is increased from 0q to q1. So the size is the same here and here. So that's why it is called unit income elasticity. It is denoted by EY is equal to 1. 0 means it is EY is equal to 0. Negative means EY less than 1. Unit means EY is equal to 1. So what is the next one? You can guess the thing. Now it is greater than 1. So income elasticity greater than unity. So what is the thing here? An increase in the income brings about more than proportionate increase in the quantity demanded. My income has been increased only 10%, but whatever the commodities the quantities I am demanding for the commodities, the increase that is 20%. So my increase in the income is only 10%, but the quantity I am demanding is more than 10%. It is 20% or 25%. So this is called EY greater than 1. At the beginning, my income is 0y. Later, I have my income has been increased from 0y to 0y1. That means I got a bonus 10%. So with that 10% increase of my salary, the quantities I am demanding is going to be increased by 20%. That is from 0q to 0q1. This is called income elasticity greater than unity. Okay, so income elasticity less than unity already we have discussed. These are the things. Again, income increases means demand also increases, but less than proportionate. So we are demanding that quantity, but it is less than that proportionate value. So this is called income elasticity less than unity. Next, cross elasticity demand. What is the next thing? Cross elasticity of demand. So how many types of elasticity demand are there? 3 types. What is the first one? Price elasticity. What is the second one? Income elasticity. Already we have discussed. The third one is cross elasticity demand. The third one is cross elasticity demand. Cross elasticity demand. See here, a change in the price of one commodity leads to a change in the quantity demanded for another commodity. Already you know that cross elasticity or cross demand is nothing but for a product X, it is having number of substitutes. Suppose if I take a soap product, suppose if I take a coconut oil, we are having number of substitutes of coconut oils. Suppose normally I am using parachute oil. So the price of the parachute company has increased its coconut oil prices are very much higher. So I am not able to afford that higher prices. Automatically I will go for another brand of coconut oils, whether it may be another things, whatever the brands available in the market. So those are called cross elasticity. That means a change in the price of one commodity, that is a parachute oil. They are increasing that price of that parachute oil. So it leads to change in the quantity demanded for another commodity. So I'm going for another oil, another company's oil. So it may be a Dabur oil, whatever it may be, another company I'm going to demand. That means because another substitutes, they have not increased their price levels. Their price levels are constant. So I am preferring, because I am using the product A, the product A costs are going to be raised. So I am going to prefer that B product because the price level of B is constant. So automatically the quantity demanded for the B is going to be increased. This is called cross elasticity demand. I have told you the concept is same, but you have to represent it in a formula. Okay. So what is the thing? Proportionate change in the quantity demanded for the good X. That means Q2 minus Q1 by Q1 for X. So what is the price of that commodity Y? So proportionate change in the price of the commodity Y. So with respect to price, because the price of X is going to be changed, but we are preferring that commodity Y. So what is the proportionate change in the price of the commodity? So Y2 minus Y1 by Y1. So delta Y by Y1. So this is the formula we have to use for calculating the cross elasticity of the demand. Okay. So whatever the change it is occurring for a commodity X, so whatever the price changes of that commodity, we are going to do. Suppose the coffee price is going to be increased because I can satisfy my want by taking the preferring tea also, because the coffee cost is 20 rupees, but tea cost is 10 rupees only. I can save 10 rupees by preferring the tea. So I will go for the tea. That is the substitute. Okay. That is the thing. Suppose if you take the substitutes, the cross elasticity of demand is a positive. It works in a positive way. So in case of complements, complementary goods, I have told you, inkjet printer, inkjet cartridge. Okay. If I'm going to buy the inkjet printer means I need the inkjet cartridge also. If I'm going to car means I need to buy the petrol also. If I'm going to buy a bike means I need to buy the petrol also. These are the complementary goods. Suppose the price of that cars are going to be very much increased. Nobody are preferring that to buy that particular car. Automatically, if the person is not going to buy that car means he won't buy that petrol also. Okay. In case of complements, cross elasticity is negative, because if the increase in the price of one commodity leads to decrease in the quantity demanded for another, vice versa. Okay. Next. See here. When the price of a car goes from OP to OP1. See here at the beginning, we are taking the price of the car on the y-axis and quantity demanded of the petrol on the x-axis. Because when you are going to buy the car means immediately we go to buy the petrol also. We will fill the tank by petrol by running the car on the road. So whenever the price is at the beginning, it is OP, but it is increased from OP to OP1. So whenever it is OP, the quantity demanded is OQ1 for the petrol. Okay. Whenever the price changes, whenever that price is OP, the quantity demanded is OQ. The quantity demanded is OQ. See the line. So whenever the price increases from OP to OP1, the quantity demanded is OQ1. That means the quantity demand is reduced from OQ to OQ1. So the arrow is coming in this direction. Okay. So rightward direction, not to left to right to left. So the demand of the petrol decreases from OQ to OQ1. This is the demand for complementary goods. So the cross demanded curve has a negative slope. So in case of unrelated commodities, suppose if X commodity is not related with that Y commodity, suppose if that increase of that price of that X commodity, it is not going to affect that Y commodity. These are not related. These are not substitute goods and these are not complementary goods. So in case of such type of unrelated commodities, the cross elasticity demand is 0. Okay, that is the thing. Hope you understood what is meant by cross elasticity. Till now I have explained the 7 marks question. What is elasticity? What is meant by elastic and what is meant by inelastic? Types of that elasticity demand and different phases in price elasticity and income elasticity. Next I am going to discuss about that concept which you already know in many number of times I am explaining this. So with respect to this, how we have to write this. Factors determining the price elasticity of demand. So what are the factors that are affecting this price elasticity of demand? So the price elasticity of demand depends upon these following factors: nature of the goods, availability of substitutes, income level, variety of users, proportionate of income, durability of a commodity, and time period. We will discuss one by one. See here how the price elasticity of demand, what are the factors they are going to affect this price elasticity of demand. See here, ante whenever you are increasing the particular price of a commodity, for which type of commodity you are increasing the prices and how the demand is going to be affected. See here, suppose if you take the nature of the goods, goods may be classified into 3 groups. These are necessaries, comforts and luxuries. See, necessaries, already I have told you. every person in our region we are using rice only. So whatever may be the price changes of the rice, whether they have increased 10% increase in that particular kilo of rice. So we are not going to reduce that buying the so and so kilograms of rice for the next month. So these are the normal goods we required: salt, matchboxes, toothpastes, brushes, like things. These are the normal things every for making our necessaries of that life. So these are called the normal goods. So for these necessaries, if they are increasing the prices of these necessaries, the quantity demanded is not going to be changed. That is necessaries. Okay. The demand for necessaries like salt, cloths, food items is inelastic because the quantity of demand is not going to be affected. That is in inelastic nature. Suppose if you go for comforts and luxuries, what is comfort? Fan is comfort, cooler is comfort, but AC is luxury. With the fan also we can sustain, but we are preferring based on the weather conditions. We are going for buying the luxuries. So car is luxury, bike is comfort, or cycle is comfort, bike is sorry, cycle is necessary, bike is comfort, and car is luxury. So whereas whenever increasing the prices of these comforts and luxuries, it is going to be the case is elastic. That means the quantity demanded is going to be changed. So whenever the quantity demanded is changed means we will call it as elastic. Next. So television is also a luxury. AC is a luxury. Vehicles are four-wheel vehicles are luxuries. So this is the thing. Availability of substitutes. Already I have explained. Once again I am telling. Suppose if any for any particular product X, there are number of substitutes are available. It may be a soap, it may be a coconut oil, it may be or any other thing. So many other substitutes are there. Suppose if you take a Android mobile, number of Android mobiles are available are there. Number of different companies of Android mobiles are there. Suppose I need a particular company's mobile. The prices of that particular company mobiles are very high. So I will go for alternate. I will go for MI mobiles, or I will go for Chinese piece, or whatever it may be. So whenever a commodity having number of substitutes has elastic in nature. Suppose if it is having number of substitutes means it is elastic in nature. Suppose it is not having any substitutes means it is inelastic. That is the thing. Income level. See here, if you consider the high income group of people, these are less affected by the price changes. Suppose the people are high income people, whatever may be the price changes in that market, they won't affect that. It will be in inelastic no only, but this may be elastic for the lower income and middle income people. Okay, now demand for high priced and quality goods is inelastic, but high income groups whereas the same as elastic and for low income people. So if the people or consumers are from lower income, so whatever the price changes are in the market, automatically they uh, demand less quantities of those products. So in their case it is elastic, but in the case of higher income people it is inelastic. That is the thing. Proportion of income spent on the commodity. Okay, if any consumer spends less percentage on the commodity, then the demand will be inelastic. Suppose if you take the less cost items, salt, matchboxes. So generally we will spend below 20 rupees for these items in a family. Okay, we will take 1 kilo of salt, less than 20 rupees. Matchboxes, six matchboxes less than 20. So we are spending very less amount in our income. Our income is 30,000. So 20 to 25 rupees is not a matter. Suppose if you are increasing the price of these things, so there is no effect. So it is inelastic. On the other hand, if the consumer spends more larger portion of his income, suppose then it will become elastic. Next, durability. So when a commodity is durable, suppose we will buy an AC or furniture, it will run longer time. We are using that particular TV, furniture, ACs or any other thing for longer time. So one is like to use this commodity for a longer period, having high price. So then it's the nature is it's elastic in nature. That is the durability. Next, it is also related to time period also. So demand of a commodity always has a preference to a specific time period. So here shorter period. Generally, demand is inelastic during shorter period. So if you take the shorter period time, the demand will be inelastic. That means the quantity demanded is not going to be affected. That is called, we will call it as inelastic. Suppose if you take longer time, more months are greater than 1 year time. So then it is having that property called elastic. So these are the various factors affecting. Hope you understood all the things which we have discussed in the today's class. So I have discussed the factors determining the price elasticity of a demand. So how nature of the goods are affecting. So if you are having number of substitutes for a particular product X, how it is going to affect, how the income level. So how the higher income people and lower income people are going to be affected, that price changes. So if the product has a variety of uses, how it is going to be done. So what is the durability and what is the time period. So these are the various factors that are going to be determine the price elasticity of a demand. So before that we have discussed that other things, what is meant by elasticity and types of elasticity. So